How do the cameras of these four flagship phones compare? The Vivo X200 Ultra, Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra, iPhone 16 Pro Max, and Pixel 9 Pro. We are going to have a very simple scoring system to answer this question. Whenever a phone does best, it gets 3 points, the second best gets 2, and third place gets 1 point. Ammo, this is Tecmo. I have no connection to any of these brands. I bought all phones in this video with my own money, and for reference, this is Tanya, the model in today's video. Starting with the main lens, you probably noticed in the last video that Tanya's face has more magenta in this specific lighting, which both the Vivo X100 Ultra and Pixel 9 Pro got right, while the Galaxy and iPhone did not. Here, Vivo and Pixel get 3 points, while the iPhone and Galaxy get 1 each. As a side note, the Vivo X100 Ultra main lens is 35mm, while for the rest of the phones, it is 24mm. That's why the Vivo photos look closer than the rest. To remedy this, here I zoom 1.6 times with the other phones. Here Vivo is doing the best optically quality-wise, and that's predictable since it is not a cropped photo. If we purely look at the skin tone here, the Vivo and Galaxy capture the best photo, the Pixel has too much magenta, and the iPhone is too yellow and green. Hence, Vivo and Galaxy get 3 points, while iPhone and Pixel get 1 each. When it comes to skin tone, here I found the Galaxy and iPhone doing the best job, while the Vivo is too vivid, even though I'm shooting in Zeiss Natural. Pixel is slightly better, but also has some magenta. For the video in 4K and 30 frames per second, I found Galaxy and iPhone keep the right balance. The Galaxy is slightly more vivid than the iPhone. The Vivo overall is doing a good job, but my skin tone is too orange. The Pixel 9 Pro is dropping the ball here, and there are a lot of ugly exposure shifts going on. Overall, when it comes to the main lens, I really like the 35mm focal length on the Vivo, and it makes a lot of sense. But when it comes to processing, the Galaxy still does it better, especially when it comes to darker skin tones. For the main lens, the Galaxy won the most points, followed by iPhone, Vivo, and then Pixel. Also, if you are a true photographer, you already know that taking pictures is only half the job. The other half is editing those photos, and that's where the sponsor of today's video, Luminar, can help you out. Luminar is a professional yet intuitive app that helps you edit your photos. You can do all the typical stuff like changing exposure, contrast, and white balance, but you also get advanced features. For example, you can make yourself look thinner or thicker, or you can make the photo look like it was taken during golden hour. My favorite feature is the color profiles they offer. They have amazing film-like color profiles you can play around with, and you can also use a slider to increase or decrease their strength. You can see how Tanya looks in 4 different color profiles I used, with just one click inside the Luminar app. Another feature I enjoy using is adding clouds. For example, I took this photo in Vancouver. The sea looks amazing, but I wished there were more dramatic clouds in the sky. With only one click, I can add clouds to my photo. To access to Luminar, simply download it from Google Play Store or the App Store, or get Luminar Neo for your desktop and use the code TECMO to get 10% off. Thanks to Luminar for sponsoring this video. For the ultrawide lens, the Vivo X100 Ultra sensor size is the same as the main lens, whereas the other phones have a smaller sensor, which means the Vivo should in theory wipe the floor, at least in optical quality. And it actually does. The larger sensor is not only better for low light, but it can also create better dynamic range and more accurate colors. Here, the Galaxy and Pixel also do a decent job, whereas on the iPhone, Tanya looks like a zombie. For indoor shots in a more low light situation, I again find the Vivo to do the best job here, with the most accurate colors and better processing. The Galaxy and Pixel are also doing a decent job here after Vivo, while the iPhone has these nasty yellow tints all over the risotto. I took this shot right before sunset, and as discussed, the larger sensor means the Vivo is able to capture better dynamic range with less banding. Here, the Vivo did the best. iPhone also did a decent job. The Galaxy comes after iPhone only because it has more visible banding in the sky. The Pixel photo is overexposed. The same goes for the video, with the difference that I found the colors on the Galaxy more accurate here. The iPhone is going too green, the Pixel is also way too contrasty in this video. Also, I know some people always ask why some artificial lamps flicker in some videos. This has nothing to do with the quality of the camera. Rather, sometimes the shutter speed just matches the light frequency and it is simply luck. Generally, I don't find the Pixel capable when it comes to processing ultra-wide videos. I know I'm going to get bashed in the comment section, but this is something I do notice on every Exynos processor, and my wild guess is that it has everything to do with the fact that Pixel Tensor is an Exynos sibling. Here, Galaxy has struggled a bit to expose Tanya and is too vivid. The iPhone and Vivo did better. Not surprisingly, when it comes to the ultra-wide lens, the Vivo is simply above the rest and got 15 points, Galaxy got 8, iPhone got 6, and Pixel got 4 points. You probably noticed I didn't include low light photos. I plan to make a separate video focusing on night photos when I get my hands on the Sony Xperia 1 Mark 7, so don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss that video. When it comes to the telephoto lens, the Vivo has the largest telephoto sensor. The Pixel and Samsung are second, and the iPhone is last. For the sake of this video, I'm ignoring the second telephoto lens on the Galaxy, which is a 3x telephoto lens. And the quality of the photos in telephoto mode, in my opinion, has a direct correlation with the sensor size. The Galaxy and Pixel are doing a decent job, but I prefer the Pixel's processing. The Vivo is doing an amazing job with the great bokeh it creates, and the iPhone is adding a lot of sharpness to compensate for the lack of quality. In this picture, the Galaxy is punching above its weight, and the photo quality is similar to that of the Vivo. The Pixel is also doing decently, but the moon is a bit pixelated. The iPhone lacks quality. I also love the telephoto lens for wildlife photography. Here, I'm zooming 20 times into the subject. If we zoom the maximum amount into the subject, the Vivo is doing better with the conjunction of AI algorithms. The Galaxy is also doing alright, but I believe the iPhone and Pixel are not really applying any specific Gen AI algorithm here. However, the Pixel still does at least some denoising, which makes the picture look smoother, while the iPhone is not even trying. You can also use the telephoto lens to take macro-style shots, and in this specific case, I found the Vivo doing the best job. The Pixel is also doing decently, but the iPhone and Galaxy are a bit disappointing. Overall, it is difficult to cheat physics. A larger sensor gives better dynamic range and better optical quality and bokeh, at the cost of the more expensive lens and a larger camera bump. Even with all the image and video processing algorithms, the Vivo is still simply the king here, but Galaxy is doing well too. The iPhone's smallest sensor shows, and the Pixel here again makes the video too contrasty, which I blame once again on the processor itself. For portrait shots, I found the Vivo one to look the best, even though it could tone down the vividness a bit. Galaxy made Tanya's face a bit too harsh, the Pixel created a nice skin tone, but did poor processing on the hair, and Tanya again looks like a zombie on the iPhone. Pixel for some reason doesn't let you zoom and use the telephoto lens in portrait mode, which disqualifies it. For the other three, I found Vivo and Galaxy almost on par, while the iPhone added too much contrast to Tanya's face and made it harsh. For taking portrait shots, I would pick the Vivo first, then the Galaxy. Even though I always carry the iPhone 16 Pro Max, I rarely use it for portrait because of how harsh the skin looks on it. Overall, the Vivo X200 Ultra got 43 points, the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra got 33 points, the Pixel 9 Pro got 17 points, and the iPhone 16 Pro Max also got 17 points. I know you may think I hate Apple, but I simply don't. My laptop is a MacBook Air, my computer is a Mac Studio, I have an Apple Watch, AirTag, and it would have been so much easier for me if I actually liked their camera, so I could just move to iPhone. But I really feel they need to improve both their camera hardware and software processing. Also, even though Vivo won by large margin, it does not mean the phone is twice as good as the others. It is simply the case that it will most likely get more points when compared side by side. The only phone I think really needs to step up its game is the Pixel. I would blame it solely on the Tensor chipset, since a big part of image processing happens at the chipset level. As long as Google doesn't solve this issue, it is going to fall behind other brands, especially when it comes to video processing. Speaking of which, if you want to see a comparison of the video quality of these four phones, you can watch this video next. Thanks for tuning into Techmo, and I will see you in the next one.